The Jefferson County Teachers Union won a temporary injunction stopping the JeffCo School Board's new teacher compensation system. Attorneys for the Teachers Union stated that the board overstepped its boundaries when creating the plan without negotiating with the union. David, I know the different parts of this is that there were attempts at negotiation, and then because they didn't pan out, the board decided to move forward without an agreement with the union. You're our legal expert at the table. As a temporary injunction, what kind of a hurdle does this pose to the school board's plan?
Well, what it means is that, so there's 300 teaching vacancies for the upcoming year, and the administration had hired 60 new teachers on a different pay schedule compared to what the union contract is. And the judge said, that's okay, they can keep their jobs at this system, but for your 240 additional hires you're hopefully going to make between now and August, that's got to be paid at the same level or close to it as what the existing contract says. Kudos, I'd like to thank Chalkbeat Colorado, which put the judge's opinion online so we could read it. The judge in Jefferson County Court, Christopher Zenisek, by his fairly new judge, but by his judicial ratings, is above average for a district judge in Colorado, and apparently pretty well respected by the Colorado Court of Appeals, which is sort of his supervisor. He didn't agree with all the claims that the union made, but he did say, look, you've got a contract with the union that runs through August 31st, and by his interpretation, what the board was doing was part of it was contrary to the contract. And you never know for sure when you read an opinion because it always seems well reasoned. If you haven't read the briefs, maybe there was some argument that he left out, but I think it seemed like a pretty straightforward down the middle decision on the law.
Eric, do you think folks who have been against the JeffCo School Board, and they've been able to drum up a lot of controversy from the moment they were seated, is this a major victory for their opponents or just one other battle in a long history of battles in this war?
I think it's one more battle. This is a battle. It's a war without end at this point in time. This is one more battle, score one for the opponents of the board majority. I'll let David handle the legal side of this. That's not my expertise at all. From a union perspective, that they decided to challenge this, that's what unions do. But let no entrenched long-time policy not be treated as sacred dogma, and that was the union approach. Now, a contract is a contract. I think the real battle is not this battle we're fighting now. The real battle is coming on August 31st, before or after, when the contract between the district and the teachers union expires. And that's when, whether they go the route of Douglas County and decertify the union, or what other steps that board majority might have in mind, that's when the battle is going to get fought, and that's the high-stakes battle. Right now, it's still low stakes.
Todd, let's go to that point. Do you think the JeffCo School Board is prepping for the bigger fight in August, and where do you think they'll go with it?
Yeah, I clearly think they're prepping. I mean, they see the long game here. Where do they go with it? I mean, I think they just, ride this out legally like they normally would. I think the legal challenge may present a little bit of a blueprint for other unions and other school boards, as these issues are no doubt going to start to crop up in just more than Jefferson County and what we've seen in Douglas County in the end. So, I think the majority board, they just stay the course. They treat this as a speed bump. As Eric said, it's one of a smaller battle. It's not the war, and obviously all of their eyes and all of their efforts are for the fall.
Patty, does this light some major fireworks for the fall?
Well, as we know, the Jefferson County School Board likes to rewrite history, and this is a chapter they definitely are going to want to rewrite. And maybe they want to get some other legal help. You may recall that how the legal contract they gave was one of the very first things that got them in trouble. Come August 31st, I think we'll be glad. Won't the negotiations be open because of the Independence Institute, yes, the ballot measure that went through last November, so we can credit our colleagues at this table for at least giving us a ringside seat for what's going to be crazy come August 31st.